ये समझौता भारत के 140 करोड़ लोगों और यूरोपीय देशों के करोड़ों लोगों के लिए बहुत बड़े अवसर लेकर आया है।
In a world of rising tariffs, fractured supply chains, and growing trade uncertainty, India and the European Union have just delivered rare good news. On January 27th, India and the EU unveiled a landmark free trade agreement, ending more than a decade of stalled negotiations and opening the door to deeper economic integration between two of the world's largest markets. Together, India and the EU represent nearly 1/4 of global economic output and a combined consumer base of almost 2 billion people. The timing of this deal is no accident. With US President Donald Trump threatening new tariffs and pushing a more protectionist trade agenda, both India and Europe are accelerating efforts to diversify economic partnerships and reduce over-reliance on any single market. Negotiations that first began over a decade ago were revived in 2022 and fast-tracked after direct political backing from Prime Minister Narendra Modi and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. The scale of the agreement is massive. Bilateral trade in goods has already crossed $136 billion, but economists say the FTA could significantly deepen value chain integration, reduce costs, and boost long-term investment flows. India's Trade Secretary Rajesh Agrawal called it a balanced, forward-looking deal that will propel trade and investment on both sides. Automobiles were the most politically sensitive issue in the negotiations. India currently imposes import duties of up to 110% on foreign-made cars, especially in the premium segment. Under the new agreement, tariffs on European-manufactured vehicles are expected to fall to around 40%. That shift dramatically changes the economics of selling European cars in India. For Indian consumers, especially in the premium and electric vehicle space, the impact could be significant. European brands like BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Volvo, and Volkswagen will be able to price vehicles more competitively. Luxury electric vehicles such as the BMW iX, Mercedes EQS, and Audi Q8 e-tron stand to benefit the most. At the same time, India has protected domestic mass-market manufacturers, keeping budget EVs largely insulated from direct competition. Europe's gains go beyond cars. The EU will receive improved access to one of the world's fastest-growing consumer markets, while India lowers tariffs on select European goods, including wines and industrial products. In return, Indian exports, textiles, garments, jewelry, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and electronics will enjoy wider and more predictable access to European markets. Sensitive farm and dairy sectors have been excluded to protect Indian farmers. Today, India exports nearly $76 billion worth of goods to the EU. Refined petroleum products lead the list, followed by electronics, where smartphones account for over $4 billion, underscoring India's rise as a global electronics assembly hub. These sectors already face low tariffs, meaning the FTA's biggest gains will come from manufacturing scale, stability, and long-term investment. India's imports from Europe are concentrated in high-tech and capital-intensive sectors. Machinery, aircraft, medical devices, electronics components, and specialized medicines form the backbone of EU exports to India. These inputs are critical for India's infrastructure build-out, electronics ecosystem, healthcare system, and clean energy ambitions, areas where domestic production alone cannot yet meet demand. India has also pushed back against EU carbon-related trade barriers, particularly levies affecting steel, aluminum, and cement. The FTA is expected to help offset some of these pressures by offering alternative competitiveness pathways as Europe tightens climate-linked regulations. Officials see the deal as a tool to balance sustainability goals with economic growth.
I think this is the best culmination of India trade deal with the European Union have achieved, especially after so many years of discussion between the two sides since 2007, and they've stopped it and then started in 2022. And I believe this is going to be beneficial for both the sides, especially at the time when India is celebrating its 77th Republic Day. And this not only will put India in the forefront as an emerging power, but also it will help India in gaining mileage with the relation with the European Union in a political issue, especially in the international arena. I think that's she's rightly saying it, because actually what's happening for the European Union after the President Trump have already put all these tariff and threatening the Greenland's annexations and also threatening the European countries, and I mean openly. It is a clear indication that the European Union is very much keen and searching for a market, which could be an India as the ultimatum for them. Like 1.45 billion peoples are here. You are having it's the second largest market in the world. And for them, it is also an advantage for India that they will be less relying on also on China.
The deal is finalized but not yet active. The text will undergo legal review over the next 5 to 6 months, followed by formal signing and ratification. Approval by the European Parliament will be required before implementation. This agreement could redefine India-Europe economic ties for decades, just as global trade enters a far more uncertain era.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update. Download the One India app now.